part of the show. You can express your opinions or ask your questions by calling 474-2427. We ask that you please just call once per show so everyone has a chance to participate.
He's not building.
No.
Rim Country Forum today being brought to you by Banner Payson Medical Center, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, At Your Service Cleaning and Tree Service, ITD Group Computer Services, Anytime Fitness, and Hospitality Wireless. Well, good, finally, Friday morning, 5 minutes past 9 o'clock, 79 degrees, and yeah, you know what we do here on Fridays. With opinions about everything that's ever been done in Hollywood, and even some that have been done outside of Hollywood, it's our hometown movie guys, Tina, Craig, and Andy with us in the studio talking about what's going on at the Sawmill Theaters. How y'all doing this morning?
Excellent,
Oh,
but
maybe
I'll
I should
get better.
I'll turn your microphone on now so I can
Yeah,
actually
not so
hear you.
good because my mic wasn't on. Okay, fine.
Okay, so I can just turn it back off.
Yeah, right.
Okay. How about you, Andy? What's up? Hey, you were up in Alaska.
Yeah, I was. I was up there on the occasion of my eldest son's wedding.
Oh, wow.
Had a great time, a wonderful wedding, all just a terrific thing. I got to see a moose, and I got to see some...
Boy, very
Was it
eventful
chocolate,
wedding.
chocolate mousse or what?
No, moose.
Oh.
And some doll sheep.
Tall sheep.
Yep.
They're just little bitty ones or what?
Yeah,
Barbie
they were...
sheep.
Anatomically enhanced sheep.
From the distance I saw them, they were about an inch high.
Yeah, there you go. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that. I learned this when I was on a fishing trip way up north in Canada a number of years ago. That actually, when it comes to people being injured, moose are the biggest culprit, even above you know, the big bears and stuff like that. More people get injured by moose.
And hippos.
Well, yeah, that's only on Saturday night after they leave the bar, though. Those and the pink elephants, man, they get you every time. Yeah.
Gross.
Hey,
We're gonna have to switch gears real quick here, Randy, to keep you out of mischief.
yeah, probably ought to. Hey, you know, one of the things that we need to talk about real quick, and we're going to talk about it a few times this hour because we haven't talked about it before, and we need to talk about it again. And that is The Lion King is playing tomorrow morning at the Sawmill Theaters, and it's all part of a big fundraiser. The Friends of Payson Park and Recreation are bringing you The Lion King, and that's tomorrow morning. It starts at 10 a.m. at the Sawmill Theater. You can get in for $5, and all of the proceeds benefit Youth Sports Scholarship Fund. So this is, I guess, probably, you know, with some of these kids that are, you know, wonderful athletes might not have the financial means to be able to, you know, afford, you know, getting involved with a team, and this is something that's being done to help them defray that cost.
Kind of help it out, yeah.
You guys are always getting behind all kinds of good things over there at Sawmill Theater.
Yeah, and all here for Payson too. So.
Yeah, there you go.
We have a halo for him.
Ah, that's right. Is that what that tarnished thing is?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know, as though that weren't enough, that's going on at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. A great chance to take the kids and go see The Lion King. But also, you've got the Classic Movie Saturday playing tomorrow, and as they do on the first Saturday of every month at the Sawmill Theater. And normally that starts at 10, but tomorrow that's going to start at 9 because this is an epic saga. The Good, the Bad, the Andy McKinney. No, that's not how it goes. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That was
I'll clock him for you after, and then I'll clock you later because we have a reason.
Oh, and wait till you find out about that.
Ah.
Now, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, written by...
Written by, I think it was Sergio Leone, but who knows? I mean, directed by Sergio
So
Leone.
got some big names in that movie.
Oh, Clint Eastwood, Eli Wallach, and Lee Van Cleef.
That's right.
Yes.
And this goes back to the 60s?
Yes, 68.
68.
Yeah.
And when was the last time you had a chance to see that on the big screen with all the new modern sound system and everything? I think it's going to be quite a treat tomorrow morning.
And you need to remember that there's a whole Civil War part of this movie. A real viewpoint of the Civil War, a real viewpoint of war.
So the movie's set in the 1860s
Yes.
then?
Yes.
And very interesting. Now the classic movie Saturdays have been attracting some pretty good crowds, so you want to make sure you get there early. And Craig, I understand the reason you're starting at 9 is because this is what, close to 3 hours long?
It's an epic, yeah, definitely.
So will this have a midway? I got to run to the bathroom real quick, sort of intermission.
No, you know what? It's not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Just go before.
can tough it out.
It all depends. All right. So and again, that starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. $5 gets you in the door.
$5, yes.
And then
Yeah, you know, this is definitely, I think, one of the, you know, at least top 5 westerns of all time.
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
And Clint Eastwood, of course, he'd been doing some spaghetti westerns before that. He was well
He
known.
did Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More, which, he was not very well known. And then this one just,
This is what really
exploded. Yeah.
brought him onto the main stage.
Yeah.
Wow, very interesting. And again, tomorrow morning at the Sawmill Theater.
And trivia. Somebody should call in and say what his nickname is that Eli Wallach calls him in the movie.
Clint Eastwood?
Yes, he's known as the man with no name, but there's a nickname. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
I
It's been so
know.
long.
Let's
I
see who
know.
else knows.
I know.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
God knows, Don. Oh, somebody's calling you on your cell
My hands are ringing.
phone.
Was that Rubio?
No.
No? Nah.
Eh. Okay, you get one more chance and then we call.
That's the only one I got. Is this the one where there's the three-way gunfight?
Oh, somebody, yes.
Yes, yeah, the end of it.
Somebody's
Okay,
calling.
we have a
in.
caller on the
All
line
right.
at 10 minutes past the hour. Hi, you're on Room Country Forum. Good morning. Hey, Terry, how's
Hey,
life?
Jerry.
Hi, Terry.
That's the name that he's known as, but Eli Wallach calls him something else in the movie. Thank you.
Blondie.
There it is,
Zoink,
Blondie.
You got it, Blondie. And it's
I
not
was
just
right.
Blondie, it's Blondie.
He
No.
went on to be a big pop singer.
Rubio is Blondie in Mexico.
Oh, gee. Are you obscure? Yeah.
Not obscure enough.
Obscura.
I thought it was
So
true.
didn't Blondie go on with to get a big pop music career going?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was after the movie.
Yeah, right.
A little bit
But
of-
it's really weird because he's not really blonde, but, that's
They called him
what
Blondie.
Eli Wallach.
Hey, thanks for
Yay,
pointing that out
Terry.
for us, Terry. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, Blondie.
Blondie. All right. Well, also playing at the Sawmill Theaters this week. Now, starting today, Hobbs and Shaw. That's what the 9th rendition from the Fast and Furious folks. Lawman Luke Hobbs and outcast Deckard Shaw form an unlikely alliance when a cyber-genetically enhanced villain threatens the future of humanity. Yeah, they're really kind of going after it. I mean, one thing about the Fast and the Furious stuff, I mean, they were never accused of being super realistic.
No,
But it was always entertaining.
And don't go into expecting any kind of realism on this one either.
Really?
They're supposed to be fun.
Right.
And they are.
A lot of cars flying through the air, crashes.
Every time I watch one of these, I'm mad at myself for liking it, but they're entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't
There's a
know.
reason they've made 9 of them. Apparently they're turning some good bucks off of
Well, the
this.
last one made $1.7 billion.
Wow.
Whoa.
And this one's a little bit of a spin-off with, Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham
Right.
kind of breaking away, but, the same formula they're gonna use and, some crazy special effects that would, never work in real life, but, I said that they're really entertaining. This one's actually got some pretty good reviews.
I saw the trailer for it, and it looked like it would be entertaining. And of course, when you got Jason Statham, and you've got The Rock, and as we were talking earlier on the show this morning, one of the original faces from the Fast and the Furious wanted to make sure that he had as many hits in the fight scenes. Was feeling a little threatened, maybe a little over testosterone by his co-stars.
Yeah, it sounds like these guys have had a little bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it a falling out, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been some conflict on the set, but,
My
It's-
biceps
it's-
bigger than your bicep.
yeah, pretty much. It's
Or
just a
something
little,
like that.
yeah, it's an ego thing, but,
In Hollywood?
Yeah.
Still my heart.
And speaking of a little bit of an ego thing, what about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? We'll talk about that in just a second. What about Hobbs? Because the microphone got turned back over to
And there's gonna be a fight.
Andy here. So Andy, tell me, how much money did they spend on the Hobbs and Shaw movie? Do you know?
Oh, $200 million. These guys just went completely bonkers.
200 million.
Yeah.
And so, I guess they're betting on the come on that one.
Yeah, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, clearly the most successful transition from the world of wrestling to the movie world, even though Tina and I both like Roddy Piper quite a bit.
Yeah.
In the
R.I.P.
incredible
Roddy.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yes.
Well, I think The Rock should get some kind of Academy Award for what he does with his eyebrows.
Yeah, that's he's got two moves basically. He frowns, and when he's has any other emotion, he raises one eyebrow.
Yeah.
So, but he's made
Is it always the same eyebrow?
I don't know.
Oh.
Something else to notice in
Another
this movie.
trivia thing that
Yeah.
we don't know the answer to.
But it clearly is a very, very successful in the movie business. And we talked about the kind of the scuffle or conflict between him and Vin Diesel. Dwayne Johnson has a TV show called Ballers, where he plays an ex-football player, and he's in the promotion, that he takes care of football players and helps them invest their money and stuff.
Ah,
So don't
okay.
spend it all on Coke
And
imported-
Pepsi and stuff.
Yeah. But he's got a line in one of the shows where some passerby says, "Hey, aren't you Vin Diesel?" And The Rock, of course, frowns at the guy and says, "No, I'm bigger and better looking." So I think maybe there is some substance to this dispute. Obviously, it's a big enough dispute that they didn't make the latest movie together.
Oh, really?
Well, no, Vin Diesel isn't in this.
So just really step back completely away from
Yeah.
that? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought they were fighting over, they were going to count the types of, according to this article that Mike pulled out of, I don't know, Mad Magazine or whatever it was this morning, they were fighting over, Vin Diesel
I think it was the Wall Street Journal.
wanted to put
Same
a
thing.
number to rating to each type of hit so that they could see who had the highest score and
Well, they are filming another one also right now.
Oh, really?
Because they are, this is technically Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Hmm.
So the next one is gonna be Fast and Furious
I am Groot.
9, I guess, yeah. I don't know how they're doing that whole thing, but yeah, the next one comes out, I think March of next year, but they're actually filming that one now, so that might be some of that too.
Well, it hits the Sawmill theaters today. It plays at 1:30, 4:30, and 7:30. It's rated PG-13, and again, kind of an action comedy sort of thing, as I understand it.
Kind of an action stupidity sort of a thing.
Hey, don't candy coat it for us, Andy. Just tell us what you really think.
Craig mentioned that some of the stuff in the Fast and Furious films are not actually based on real world things. In one of the movies, I can't remember which one it was now, they're all blending in together. They're chasing a spy in Morocco, and they think that the best way to do this, and this is what they actually do in the movie, they get a lot of really souped up automobiles, and they parachute them into Morocco and then chase the guy around with these souped up automobiles.
Isn't that what everybody does?
I
That's
think
what I did in the 70s.
Or at least I thought I did.
Yeah, I had a Mini Cooper and I was
Oh.
chasing everybody around in Morocco in 1972.
Well, and it'll, the stuff that comes out of Hollywood, and which brings us to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. A fated television actor and his stunt double strive to achieve fame and success in the film industry during the final years of Hollywood's golden age in 1969 Los Angeles. Now this one's rated R, plays at 1, 4:15, and 7:30. Not one for the kids, but how's this been doing so far in the theater here?
Not too bad.
Really?
Yeah, not bad at all.
And do we know, Andy, how this has been doing nationally, internationally, intergalactically?
Of course.
Of course.
Unfortunately, they spent $90 million to make this, and I don't know how they managed to do that, but they did. And so
Boy,
far,
Andy goes off to a wedding and he comes back grumpy, doesn't he?
so far they brought in, as of yesterday, $55 million, which, well, that's not bad for a week, but it's not good enough for spending almost $100 million in making it.
So,
It's interesting because we were talking about The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, in which TV Western star Clint Eastwood went to Italy after, was it Wagon Train or whatever that was, his TV show.
Yeah.
And started making spaghetti westerns. In Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Yes.
the main character, the protagonist, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is a TV Western star in the 50s, in the black and white days, who is at the end of his TV career, and in the course of the movie goes to Italy to make spaghetti westerns.
Oh, wow.
It's an homage.
It is an homage.
Homage.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and as a matter of fact, one of the things, now again, that's playing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, playing at 1, 4:15, and 7:30.
And I saw it yesterday. I saw it a Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock, and the place was jammed. I could hardly find a seat.
Really? Wow. And so, how many thumbs up did you give it, or saw blades, or?
I gave it 4 saw blades,
Huh.
and that was only on the backs of the just absolutely wonderful acting performances by all included.
Yeah, that's where the 90 million is coming from. You got
Just salaries.
just an incredible cast on this. Yeah, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt,
Right.
Margot Robbie.
None of those work cheap.
No. Well, Leonardo, I think, is 25 million a movie.
Really?
So I don't know if that's what he got on this one or not.
That's what I charge too, and that's why no one is paying me.
It must be rough, huh?
Yeah, really. But so now, Tina, did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I did.
And
I loved it. I would have given it 6 saw blades.
now, so I understand you and Andy are kind of at odds over
Yeah,
his analysis of this movie
Yeah,
and,
well, I'm the
Quentin
real
Tarantino.
critic and he's just the hack.
Oh. So she says. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about Quentin Tarantino, about his career and all the movies that he's been making, and get some input from you. But before we do that, real quick, we also need to talk about the rest of the movies that are playing at the Sawmill Theaters, and we're going to get to that right after this.
At your service, the tree service is back in the room country.
And it's on.
offering more than ever before.
You hacks.
I loved it.
I
was so happy.
What was it about?
There's no job too big or small.
It wasn't,
Tree maintenance,
it's
such
like
as tree
a
trimming,
show of
allocating, and
Seinfeld.
pruning.
It's a
We
show
remove
about
hazard
nothing.
trees, and we are
It's-
certified
That
in
was-
fire by
that was-
detail.
that was
We are
what I
licensed,
thought.
bonded, and insured,
It
and we
was
offer
so-
free estimates
It
and
was
discount
a
rates
very
for
well
seniors
done
and
show
veterans.
about
We are
nothing.
There- but
friendly,
there were
dependable,
all
and
of
affordable.
these
We are at your service.
Yes.
pieces
Give us a
parts
call.
that I
Beautiful.
loved.
Each piece-
And they added up for me to,
Are computer issues
Each
taking
piece-
time away from
each
your
piece
business,
was
your
perfect.
family, your
And-
life? At
And when
the
it's all
IT
put
Taker,
together, you
they'll
still
fix
get
any
a
technology
lime
issue,
green
big or
Nova.
small, for an affordable
Oh,
price.
I will
Services
never agree
include
with you.
repairing viruses and malware, repairing laptop screens,
That's-
fixing
when have you seen
networking
us like,
issues,
what?
repairing
I think I'm
software
in between you
and
guys.
hardware and
I wish my wife wouldn't send me these
Turn off your
kinds of
laptop, fix it on
text
location,
messages in the
or
middle of the
assist
show.
you remotely. Contact
Oh, just
Sam
unloaded on the
today
nurse
at
at Banner.
630-680-1775
Don't know exactly what that means.
or
That was it?
Sam at
That's it?
What's that?
That was the whole text?
That was it.
You'll find his hat and a link to his
Does-
A lot of gray area there.
Does she generally carry when she goes to the hospital?
She carries when she goes to
Are you
bed.
looking to move some dirt?
It's a very militant place. Oh, that's right, we're still recording, huh? It's all just a joke.
Barry will be back.
what?
Barry will be back.
Oh, she did.
So I don't need to write.
Okay.
H&H Paving brings unparalleled knowledge and
All right.
experience.
Here we go, 19 seconds.
Project. Call Richard Herrera of H&H Paving.
Let's not
at
leave this movie yet.
928-472-7663
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
for a
Or
free
you can
estimate.
circle back.
Serving all
I'll be happy to circle back.
H&H Paving.
I just want to get these other ones out of the way so we can
Yeah.
at least say we did that one.
Yes, good.
7663.
Welcome back to Rim Country
Yeah.
Forum, 23 minutes past 9 o'clock, 81 degrees right now at the Radio Ranch. And talking this morning, as we do on Fridays, with your hometown movie guys, Tina, Craig, and Andy with us in the studio this morning. And been talking about what's been playing at the Sawmill Theater. Hobbs and Shaw starts today. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the classic movie Saturday for tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Again, a special time at 9 a.m. because it's about a 3-hour movie. And of course, also that fundraiser going on tomorrow at the Sawmill Theater too, The Lion King, showing at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Sawmill Theater. You can get in for just $5, and all the proceeds benefit youth sports scholarships right here in Rim Country. Now, we also mentioned Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Quentin Tarantino movie playing, and we're going to circle back on not only that movie, but also some of the other movies that Quentin Tarantino has done. But we also want to mention that The Lion King has been playing now for, what is it, 3 weeks now The Lion King's been going on?
Started its third week.
So start of the third week.
Randy, what's it mean when the phone's off the hook?
When the phone is off the hook, it means someone's on it.
He's trying to lose the caller.
Is- Good morning, sorry to make you wait, you're on Rim Country Forum, good morning. I knew it was you, oh, just let it sit there for a while. Sorry about that. What's going on?
One chained again to get in the groove.
Oh.
And then I went and saw it, and my wife and I both loved it. We're going to see it again this weekend.
Wow.
See, Andy.
Oh, don't go that far.
If we didn't have low class, we'd have no class at all.
That's right.
But
Oh, yeah. I agree.
yeah, and this is the first Tarantino movie, I believe, that has not been made in conjunction with the whoever those guys were. Who'd you just say? The brothers, Coen brothers.
Coens?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Koch brothers in my head for some reason, but the Coen brothers, yeah. And I thought compared to Django Unchained, the violence was very, very, very much diminished.
Minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and we really need to say, for those who have seen it, don't spoil the ending for people. Yeah, yeah, it really is. Yep.
Yeah, Tarantino commands our attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's that innovative and that spectacular as a director.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, we're going to talk more about Tarantino. By the way, thanks for the input there. Appreciate it. And we'll try not to let other people languish on hold too long. But before we go on, again, we mentioned The Lion King is still playing. It's been doing good. It plays at 1, 4, and 7. All times are in 2D and 3D. And so all in all, this has been doing pretty good. Andy, how about nationally, internationally, and all of that? How's it been doing?
This has broken through the fabled $1 billion barrier.
Wow.
We have $2 billion movies and one getting close to it in the theater currently.
And what did they pay to make
Oh,
this?
it's this computer super realistic animation, which apparently is expensive because they spent $260 million to make it. But well worth it.
Nerds don't work cheap.
Apparently not. I thought that's why they went to places like Romania, and sometimes you'll see 5 minutes of names that you can't pronounce.
Well, I think another thing here is it's the stars involved, because Nala is demanding, quite a price tag these days. Anyway, The Lion King, basically, if I understand correctly, Craig, I've not seen this yet, but this is really just a takeoff of the original animated, movie, the more stereotypical animated movie that and a lot of the music is the same in this.
They're very similar. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, they've changed up some things. But
They had Hans Zimmer as the composer,
Hmm.
and he always channels, or not always, but often channels classical pieces, and he channels a Mozart, I believe it's the Ave Verum. Oh man, when there's a death, it's
Right.
just magnificent.
Wow.
I love his scores.
Very interesting.
this one just absolutely took off.
I love the movie. I mean, I would encourage everybody to go see that.
So you can watch it any day this week at 1, 4, or 7 at the Sawmill Theaters. And but hey, if you really want to see it, you can see it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for just $5, and all the proceeds go to benefit the Youth Sports Scholarship Fund. So that's a good one. Now, one of the other ones that I'm curious to get Andy's read on, because Andy, you've been gone for so long. There was nobody to heckle or anything last week. Everyone here was just way too serious. I want to get your read on the movie.
I resemble that remark.
That's right. I want to get your read on the movie Yesterday. A struggling musician wakes up and realizes he's the only person on earth who can remember the Beatles. And it plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15, rated PG-13.
Wonderful movie.
Really?
5 saw blades.
Now, what about if we took all the music out of it?
It's a wonderful love story.
Oh, really?
Ah,
Yeah, I mean, just a wonderful love story.
Huh.
And Lily James
Yes.
is the actress. We know her from Downtown Abbey.
Mhm.
And
Which I'm watching right now. And I'm watching her. She's in the segment that I'm watching.
Oh, excellent,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah, she does, I think she's very lively,
She's
isn't she?
adorable.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen a single episode.
And she also has a prominent role in Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, which
Oh, now we've all seen
well,
that.
I encourage everybody to see that. It's
And where would they go to see that, Andy?
probably Netflix or something.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so, and the name is Pride, Prejudice?
And Zombies.
And Zombies.
Yeah, it's the Pride and Prejudice story told during the zombie apocalypse. It's really
Deep. That's
really good
deep.
movie.
Yeah.
And she also played in the, we're talking about Disney movies with Lion King. She plays in the live action version of Cinderella.
Oh.
And she did great. But she has one scene in Yesterday where she and her this guy that she's been in love with since grade school, and she's trying to close the deal on him. So before he becomes famous, he's played a couple of Beatles tunes, and people have noticed him. And she's trying to close the deal on him, and just as she's making her move, they get interrupted, and he's taken out of the room. And to see the anguish and sorrow on her face, boy, that's some good acting there.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Wouldn't you agree, Tina?
I would agree. We can be in harmony on this one. Because lucky for you.
It's all about to change.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a
But,
second.
Tarantino has it in for
and it's really been very successful too.
Really?
$26 million spent, 111 million brought in. So
Wow.
Yeah.
it's a very successful.
If you
and-
want a really
and it
feel
deserves to
good,
be.
yes, a feel good, wonderful musical, leave the theater feeling like dancing and singing movie. Everybody should see this.
Yeah,
It's
yes,
lovely.
absolutely. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. What else we got?
Well, the last one we need to talk about is
Better.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Following Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man must take on new threats in a world that has changed forever. Spider-Man Far From Home plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. All of those are in 2D. It is rated PG-13. And how's this been doing, across the country so far?
Very well. 160 million in, which is quite a bit of money, but over $1 billion out. So it's got a better better ratio than Lion King does. Actually, it's got,
When you say in, out, you're talking about in the United States and out?
no. $160 budget, $160 million budget, $1,044 million at the box office.
Okay.
And I was kind of underwhelmed with this, but people like it and it's fun.
Yeah. Well, so what about at the local box office, Craig? I mean, has this been bringing people in?
Oh, yeah, it's done really good. It's kind of at the end of its run now. It came out July 2nd, so
Right.
it's been here for just a month now.
Right. But still, it's interesting that it's done that well. Over $1 billion. That's pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, this is part of the Avengers movies.
Right.
Kind of finishes off the after Endgame, which actually Endgame. Give a little credit to that one. That just became the highest-grossing film of all time.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Even beat out Avatar.
Finally beat out Avatar. You had to squeak by it. $1.9 billion. Some
Wow.
crazy amount of money.
Wow.
But yeah, so this one kind of finishes that off, and they'll be moving on to a new phase. With Marvel, they call these, they break them into different phases, and this will be phase 4 that they're starting now, sometime next year.
Phase 4, the money years.
This is all.
Well, unfortunately, rumor has it it's going to be phase 4 of the transgender years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We're
sorry.
all, this is Disney, and they're just, all these movies we're talking about, Lion King, Toy Story, just left here today, but that did incredible. Aladdin came out in May, and it's still number 6 in the box office.
Wow.
Right.
And now they're talking about taking fairy tales to a whole new level. It'll be interesting. We have to take a quick break here. We're going to be back and talk about Quentin Tarantino movies. Think about what's your favorite, and we've got a whole bunch of information.
And why?
And you're about to witness live on air a pretty serious fight between Tina and Andy over this. More to come right after this.
This weather is being brought to you by Room Country Power Sports.
I thought you were going to pick that up and you were going to do him with it or something.
ATVs,
I am.
side-by-sides, and power equipment.
Break it Get out of the way.
KMOG weather forecast.
Okay, you
for
show her
Friday,
Hobbs.
August 2nd. Mostly sunny
Oh,
in
you know what,
Rim
this
Country.
is-
We
this
do
is
have a
great,
20% chance for
meme
some
on
afternoon
Facebook.
showers and
So,
thunderstorms again.
Bad day with a
our
bald
high in
head is better than a good
Payson
day
right
with a
around
man
92
bun. And
degrees.
as Jason State, a
81
bad day with
the
a
high
bald
up on
head
top of the
is
rim.
better than a good
And
day
our
with a
neighbors to
man
the
bun.
south
And
end,
as
Tunnel
Jason
Basin,
Statham.
and those
And
headed
I-
out to Roosevelt
oh, I
Lake.
mean,
Your high on this Friday,
I
105
love
degrees.
Jason.
Well, there will be a continuing
He's a
chance
diver.
for monsoon thunderstorms. We'll take a look at your
Oh.
7-day
Competitive
forecast coming
diver.
up
Did not
right
know
here
this.
on your
That's why he's
information
got
station.
the,
KMOG.
or at least in his early
If
movies,
you're
he's
looking
really,
for an off-road,
you know,
new or
bulked
used,
up.
side-by-side,
But in
or
his early
ATV,
movies, he's
Rim
got the
Country
diver's
Powersports
Yeah,
physique.
yeah,
in Star
he does,
Valley
yeah.
is your
What was that
authorized
movie
dealer
that
for
true story
Arctic
that took
Textron
place in
Off-Road,
the bank
H&H
heist? The bank
trailers,
heist?
and
The
Easy
Meg.
Go golf carts. Find the latest
Giant
models in their
No,
showroom.
no.
A variety of trailers in stock.
50-foot long
No,
trailer.
it was the bank heist, I believe.
Chainsaws, weed
True
eaters,
story.
riding mowers, snow blowers, and more. Factory trained technicians.
I have a
with
question
homes,
for the
questions,
movie,
parts, and accessories.
Raven's
Rim
over
Country
here.
Powersports.
What was the name of the
428
movie
260 Star
of,
Valley. Call
I-
or text 928
it was a bar, a
460
saloon.
6164.
in a western
Are
town
you tired of
in
your
modern day,
unreliable internet connection?
something about where the girls are. And the girls all flock to this place during the middle of the day while their husbands are off at work, because it's the only way they can get any time of their own. And there was quite a
Hospitality Wireless.
story
The
wrapped around the various people involved. I really
Sounds like the
enjoyed
Oxbow.
Right to your home
Yes.
business with high speed and truly
where the girls go or something
long
like that.
ways trying to get somebody on a toll-free
Who
line.
let the
Hospitality
dogs out?
Wireless even does support ordering
I don't know.
and answering right on the phone with text messaging.
I'm drawing a zero on
The
that
other
one.
guys
Lisa Hartman played one of the
Hospitality
lead roles in it.
Wireless, guaranteeing our service for reliability, speed, and quality. Oh, and did I tell you you can lower
15
your bill
seconds.
to something that's affordable again for internet, phone, and TV?
I'm coming up with a big zero on that myself, but that-
928-460-0000.
I'm not the movie aficionado.
Or shoot a text to
I missed the black
928
That's another one I'm thinking, which has to be.
Hospitality Wireless.
Welcome back to Rim Country Forum, 24 minutes in front of 10 o'clock, 81 degrees, looking for that high today of 92, and tell you more about your 7-day forecast here coming up in just a little bit. In the meantime, as we do on Fridays on Rim Country Forum, talking to your hometown movie guys and telling you about all the different stuff going on at the Sawmill Theaters. And one of the things, we mentioned is the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, this is a Quentin Tarantino movie. It's rated R, as I think all of his movies are. Plays at 1, 4:15, and 7:30. And this brought up the question, and albeit heated debate between Craig and Tina, or excuse me, Andy and Tina this morning about Quentin Tarantino movies. So now, where did this little riff come from that you two seem to be experiencing?
Andy doesn't like it as much as I do, and I think he's wrong.
So there,
Yeah.
you're not playing
Well,
nice in
no.
the sandbox of life, Andy.
No. No.
So you didn't like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but you did.
Oh, I
Tina.
loved it.
No,
And I really, he liked it okay, but he's not, I need to whip him into more of a frenzy of
Adoration.
Of fandom, yes.
Way too many one-liners. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the movie's shortcomings in your opinion, Andy?
The story, when the thing is all over with, you go, well, what was that about?
Now, I heard the two of you talking before going on the air this morning, and somebody was likening this to the Seinfeld show, which was a comedy about nothing. And you said, and Andy, I believe it was you said, this is a movie really about nothing.
Yeah, I agree with Tina completely.
But I don't feel that way.
Well, he would completely with you. Agree.
I only pretended
you're the one that-
to entrap you.
You're the one that brought up Seinfeld, and Seinfeld was ultimately was lots of really well done comic bits,
Sure.
all strung together in a very entertaining and charming way. And then, as Seinfeld himself said, it's a show about nothing.
Yeah, but this had a something.
So-
And it had a
and-
denouement.
Okay, what was whatever you said there in French?
Well, I can't tell
See?
it, I spoiled the ending.
See, she
Yeah.
speaks French,
Yeah.
and I want people out there in Radio Land to realize that she speaks French.
In Payson.
That's okay. That means she's going to surrender here in just a minute. Sorry, I had to say it. Gonna get emails from all of my French friends now. Oh, well, there it is. So when it comes to Quentin Tarantino, he's got quite a reputation for some pretty edgy works, and also, seems to be somewhat hell-bent on keeping everything R-rated. And I know there's been some news about that recently, that he's still trying to, I guess, maintain that, whatever that is.
Well, he's wanting to do Star Trek. He wants to do an R-rated Star Trek,
Yeah.
which would be really interesting.
Well, I'll get to know Lieutenant Uhura just a little bit better.
But yeah, Quentin Tarantino's I really wouldn't say he makes art films, but he's an artist. He really is, and
He is.
he takes a tremendous amount of time and care in camera angles and these shots, and I do hear what Andy's saying. It is kind of, you look at something like Pulp Fiction, which was very much just 3 or 4 different stories kind of going on around themselves, and but he does it very well. And yeah, I do get what Andy's saying, and Quentin Tarantino isn't really box office gold.
Right.
His movies don't make a lot of money. I mean, they don't flop.
But there is a market for it, obviously.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he's got Quentin Tarantino, there's definitely some, a persona, kind of that surrounds him.
Well, assuming that there's at least one listener out there that's as ignorant as I am, how about, Tina, a quick list of some Quentin Tarantino movies that we've all grown to know and love?
Well, one of my favorites is Jackie Brown, way back in 1997. And it stars the wonderful, beautiful, just mesmerizing Pam Grier.
From Mork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Robert
909.
Forster and Robert De Niro's in it. It's a wonderful, it's a little movie. The thing about Tarantino that I love is that he pays homage. He knows his movies. And there are so many one-liners and so many little references to movies. That Mel Brooks does the same thing in his comedies, and if you know the body
With
of
a slightly
work,
different angle.
oh, yeah, right, but if you know the body of work that they're referring to, it really deepens your enjoyment. And so Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, such an homage to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Well, Sergio Leone did Once Upon a Time in America, which is a big, sprawling movie.
Right.
And good. I
Wasn't
love it.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood done once before?
Probably, yeah, maybe.
I don't think so.
I'm just
Yeah.
misconstruing
But it
that
takes
Once
place
Upon a
during
Time.
the summer of 1969, which was the infamous Manson community and Manson.
The summer of
killers.
Woodstock.
Yeah, that too, yeah. And those of us who are of a certain age can remember exactly where we were.
And those of us that were at
except for
Woodstock
Andy.
can't.
Yeah, so except for Andy, he doesn't remember anything.
Don't remember the 60s all that well.
Well, you weren't there.
There was this blurry time in my life.
That's really kind of what it's about, is, kind of the environment around California in 1969,
Right.
and surrounding this whole, Manson thing.
And he knows his history. There's scenes on the Spawn Ranch, which was a real place where the Manson coven was. And the thing is that Manson, remember, he never murdered anybody, or at least not the Sharon Tate people.
Had other people do it, yeah.
Yeah, and there are a couple of, he appears very, just rarely. I think it's one scene with him, with Charlie.
Yeah, I think you just see the back of his head, too.
Well, no, actually, there's that one scene where he comes to see about Terry, what's his name? He had lived in the Polanski house
Yeah, you're
before.
right.
Yeah, but it's really, I really recommend this, particularly people who are of our age. I'm 72, and get and see it.
You don't look it.
No, thank you. This is what it looks like. Thank you.
The formaldehyde injections are going well.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not at all a documentary, or
No.
he definitely takes some artistic license in how he runs these things out, and if you watch *Inglourious Basterds*, you see the same thing where he kind of takes these events and
Based loosely on true life events.
History,
Yes,
yeah.
there we go.
But ingeniously. I agree with Greg. That's,
He's definitely.
he knows his history.
Well, and speaking of ingeniously, let's take an ingenious look at who's on the phone line right now. Hi, sorry to make you wait. You're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning.
I thought so too.
Well, Andy's got a new
Oh,
friend.
man. How could you desert me like this, caller?
So it was just really kind of the plot itself didn't make sense. Was that the biggest negative for you, caller?
Right.
It's just kind of dull. It was, a failing Hollywood movie star. There's the whole connection with Charlie Manson and Sharon Tate. Had no appeal.
Interesting.
You know, and Tarantino does do that, his movies tend to be long.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, this one's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and some of that is that
Yeah.
art that he takes on, where, there's a scene in this where this couple's walking down a hallway, and it's like a 3-minute shot.
Right.
And different camera angles and everything, and that's all, technically really good, but from a viewer standpoint, sometimes that's a little tedious.
Well, and that goes into that slowness of some films. The one that always comes to mind is Barry Lyndon. A lot of people by Kubrick with Ryan O'Neal. A lot of people hate Barry Lyndon. I loved Barry Lyndon. It was glacial slow. I mean, it went on forever, but I loved watching it. So that there is that.
Glacial slow. Wow, I like that. That's
We have had a little bit of a split too. I've had some people who really love this movie, and some who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like I said, it's kind of Quentin Tarantino. His movies don't make.
You either love them or you don't.
Yeah, his movies don't make $1 billion.
Right.
Like I said,
And I don't love all his movies, but I love this.
Okay, so what's at the top of your list of Quentin Tarantino movies again?
Well, I love Jackie Brown and Inglourious Bastards. I really like this one, the Once
Mhm.
Upon a Time. I'm not crazy about the Kill Bill. I have a guilty love for Pulp Fiction. I can watch it again and again.
Pulp Fiction was amazing.
Very
Yeah,
good.
That was, I think that's his.
Yeah.
That was his.
Big claim to fame.
And
in your
Django
list.
Unchained. Django Unchained was
Yeah.
really good. Now, The Hateful Eight I thought was lousy.
What about you, Andy? When it comes to Quentin Tarantino, I mean, what stands out as his greatest achievement?
He got an Oscar for Pulp Fiction,
Right.
and I think absolutely well deserved. Pulp Fiction is now in the pantheon of American moviedom, and I do agree with Tina about Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown is as close to a conventional movie
Yes.
as Tarantino has done.
Wow.
But his first pop out of the box, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
My goodness, I mean, you just cannot take your eyes off the screen.
Yeah, that's an amazing, it's a brutal movie.
Really?
Yeah,
Brutal.
it is
I mean,
brutal.
it's a look away and hide your head. But true romance.
That's what you find to be true romance?
No, that movie, yes.
Okay.
1993, I believe it was.
The Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2, I thought
Yeah.
were not important movies, but were fun to watch.
Right.
I'm sorry, true romance was not a Tarantino, my bad.
Well, it's,
Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2,
Yeah.
fun to watch, not important, kind of his equivalent of the Hobbs and Shaw movie that we're going to see today.
Yeah, it's a comic book kind of movie.
Yeah.
well, real quick before we go back to the phone lines, because we do have a caller on the line. Now, as I understand,
Haven't lost a one today.
Fortunately,
You gotta get to work.
We're not done yet. Quentin Tarantino, his movies go back to the 80s. Is that when he first started?
No.
No?
The 90s.
Early 90s.
Oh, 90s.
90s.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
Pulp Fiction is 94.
Wow, that goes back a ways. All right, 12 minutes in front of the hour. Hi, you're on Room Country Forum. Sorry to make you wait.
Absolutely love Once Upon a Time.
Okay,
Love you.
so wow, very interesting. So
Yeah.
you're not a big Quentin Tarantino fan, but this one made you feel a little different. Wow, now
Me
that's
too. Oh, right on.
that's quite a statement. When someone says I'm going to go back and watch it a second time, to me that's pretty high praise for any movie.
Yeah.
What is it most about the movie, caller, that you liked, other than looking at Leonardo DiCaprio? Oh yeah, you got to look at him too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Right, and you're being very discreet and not being a spoiler as well, so bless you for that.
So here's a spoiler alert, the butler did it.
And caller, I'm of the opinion that that is the finest acting work that Brad Pitt has ever done.
Wow.
I don't know if you agree with me on that.
Yeah, they do too. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one particular scene that I thought Leonardo did absolutely wonderfully. They're filming the TV show Lancer, and he's got the girl captive. The little girl is captive, and I thought that scene was absolutely smashing. And then when it was over, the little girl comes and whispers to him, "That was the best acting I've ever seen." And I agree with the little girl.
Yeah.
Wow, very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it was
And
great.
we appreciate the phone call. We've got to take a fast break here, and when we come back and wrap things up, talking about Quentin Tarantino, and if you have an opinion about maybe this movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or any other Quentin Tarantino movie that you've seen, give us a call. Let us know what it was and why. We'll be back with more right after this.
Yeah, Kurt Russell was in it. Kurt Russell has a good part. He has cameos.
We've been serving the Red
Wonderful
Country for over
things.
50 years. We're
Yeah.
licensed,
Yeah,
branded,
I
and
didn't
insured, have full
recognize
loadout
Timothy
vans, our own
Olyphant.
showroom, and our technicians have
Oh.
completed background
Where-
checks.
where was-
Or for that matter, I didn't recognize Luke Perry.
Yeah, I know.
5037, or stop by our
Yeah, we should probably
showroom.
talk about that Luke Perry thing, only because people that, got to know him, he was in, what was it, Friends, right?
At Banner
Right.
Basin Medical Center,
People remember him from that.
looking at healthcare.
You don't think, obviously, from what Andy said, you won't even recognize him in this.
Not only
No.
does it keep track of your vital
What happened to him?
signs
How come he
while you're in the
croaked?
hospital, it's also how Banner experts from
I
our
don't
specialized
This was his
hospitals
last
can be
movie.
part of your
Sex,
medical
drugs, and
team
rock and roll.
without
He died?
taking pay
Yep.
Find out more at bannerhealth.com/telehealth.
Guess that was a
Banner
killer
Basin
role.
Medical Center,
Yeah.
Banner Healthcare, right
But
here. in
Kurt Russell was in it.
Are you putting
And,
up going to the gym?
Dakota
because you
Fanning
don't
played
want
Squeaky
to
Frome.
shake your end?
Yeah.
Can't get where you're
Oh,
going.
God.
Squeaky
He
Frome?
was scary.
This is Gwen and
Yeah,
James
Squeaky was the
from
one that tried to kill President Ford.
We believe in celebrating the little victories.
Right.
Our staff and
And
trainers
Lena-
are dedicated
Lena
to
Dunham.
serving our clients, open
Sorry?
24
Lena
hours a
Dunham?
day,
Don't know.
365 days a
Catherine?
year.
You can find us at our website,
I know,
Facebook, and
but
Instagram.
The,
We're located next to Urgent Care at 101
And
South
Bruce
Beacon
Dern,
Highway,
is there?
Suite B.
Bruce Dern?
Stop in or call 928
Rumor Willis?
468 8001.
Bruce Willis's kid.
Yep, and also Harley Quinn Smith.
When you buy a
Harley
Who is,
Kevin Smith's daughter.
oh, right.
They're doing another Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Which means
They are? Yay!
Just watched the trailer, I don't know.
All right, here we go.
I don't know if you
10
can
seconds.
follow some of those up.
helpful people. That's Napa Know-How. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 7/31/19.
Coming up on 7 minutes in front of 10 o'clock, 82 degrees, and this morning on Rim Country Forum, talking with our hometown movie guys. We have Andy, Craig, and Tina with us in the studio talking about movies, and specifically in the second half hour here, talking about Quentin Tarantino movies. It's all because of the movie that's playing at the Sawmill Theaters right now, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that was done by Quentin Tarantino, again rated R, plays at 1, 4:15, and 7:30. And Craig, one of the things that you were mentioning is, when it comes to Quentin Tarantino, I mean, you either really like this guy's stuff or you don't. There's not a whole lot of middle ground.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And it's, certainly with, his actors and stuff, he does surround himself with talent. I don't know if you're gonna have an ensemble like this in any other movie, I mean, right now you look at Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, they're certainly on top of Hollywood right now, so.
I'm kind of surprised too with Andy's comment about Brad Pitt possibly turning in his best acting performance ever. I mean, he's had some pretty significant acting performances.
Well, and it seems that these actors want to work with Quentin Tarantino. So there is, there is that for sure, and you are going to see that talent on there. And they said he does have a little bit of he said, I don't want to call it an art film, but there are some art elements, certainly to his movies that are, he said art films tend to be maybe a little bit slower moving, and those sort of things. And, he's a little more particular with the shots, angles, that type of thing. And It is, I think this is an 88 on Metacritic, so
Wow.
technically this is a near perfect film.
Right.
Well, and Metacritic is, giving it good reviews, that's significant.
And among the host of the galaxy of stars in this movie is Damian Lewis.
Yes.
And he plays Steve McQueen in a very small role. And
Amazing.
yeah, Tina just sighed,
Jeez.
and
Yeah.
she's right there. It is. He's on for, I don't know, a minute, maybe a minute and a half, something
Well,
like that. And
he shows
it's
up.
just brilliant.
And that little scene from The Great Escape, the little snippet where he's, I mean, it's beautiful, the homage, again, I'm sorry, a little French there. Yeah, and, I'm not sure that I would say this is Brad Pitt's best acting. I mean, Inglourious Basterds was pretty good. It was really good. And then he was also in a movie called Seven, which I thought was extraordinary. But one of my favorite of his roles is Snatch, where he doesn't speak a word
yes.
of English.
Yeah, that
That's
was
sort
just
of
bizarre.
Tarantino-esque. Yeah, really.
But I didn't at any time in the movie I didn't think of Brad Pitt as being Brad Pitt.
Right.
I thought
I
of him
agree.
as being the stuntman.
Yeah.
And
It was good.
when it comes to Brad Pitt, I know we've talked about this before, but that movie, something or other, Mr. Button. What was
Oh,
that?
yes, where he goes back, where he reverses.
Curious case of Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button.
Yes.
I thought
yes.
that was a really weird storyline. How, well, I mean, if you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking
I
about.
think it's an Oscar Wilde story.
Right, where a
And
guy
he was
starts
all
out
weird himself.
old and gets younger,
Mhm.
and all of the relational problems that come up as a result of that and everything else. But weird storyline. But I thought he did a pretty good job of pulling off a
He's a
pretty
very
tough
good
part.
actor. He's
Yeah.
not just a star, he's an actor. Yeah.
That's what his ex-wife said.
Yeah.
4 minutes in front of 10 o'clock right now, 82 degrees. And as far as favorite Quentin Tarantino movies, Craig, I mean,
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction is
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
top of your list.
definitely,
Why?
Definitely. Just such a crazy story to begin with, and kind of mashing the, different stories together that way. That was something that was, there are a few others have tried it, but it's a difficult thing to pull off, and he really did it well.
The thing I think about, Tarantino, and you were commenting on, when it gets kind of artsy when it comes to the different camera angles and stuff, and there are some, artsy sort of films that I find are so slow moving that I find myself wanting to doze off, and in that case, hey, I might as well just go get a cup of coffee somewhere. But Tarantino does a pretty good job of giving you that artsy focus, but not belaboring it too much, in my opinion.
Well, right. Well, and, we kind of touched on it a little bit. With Quentin Tarantino, violence is a major part of his films, and if you look at it though, he really does violence well. I mean, I guess it's one thing just to throw a bunch of mayhem and chaos, but yeah, but again, even in the violence, he does it with that kind of precision, and it's done really well. I mean, there are good shots and the angles and everything. It's and some of it is brutal. I mean, he can get, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has a couple scenes in it that are a little rough.
Now, is that the main reasoning behind the R rating?
And the language.
Language and that?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's not for the kids.
Right.
No.
And Tina, you said you're going to go back and see this a second time?
I will,
Really?
yeah, really good.
And Andy?
And I think I might too.
Really?
It's
Just to see if you missed something? Or?
Well, no, I surely I did.
And don't call me Shirley.
It's almost 3 hours long, and everything that that Tarantino does, every shot, every item of clothing, every expression on the faces of the actors, everything is there on purpose.
It's meticulous.
Yeah.
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 And Al Pacino has a cameo,
Yeah.
Bruce Dern has a cameo.
Al Pacino
Yeah,
does too, wow. Wanted to show you my new gun.
Well, he plays a studio head.
Ah.
Interesting guy. They're taking the call at the table with, free cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
Really interesting.
And everybody was wired to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And again now, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood plays at 1, 4:15, and 7:30. I want to remind you also again that tomorrow morning, your chance to see a couple of great movies, and with one of them, you show some support to a worthy cause here, The Lion King, which is playing at 1, 4, and 7 every day right now at the Sawmill Theaters. You can see it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., for just $5, and all the proceeds from that are going to benefit youth sports scholarship funds right here in Payson. Also, the classic movie Saturday is tomorrow morning. That's going to be at 9 o'clock because it's almost a 3-hour movie. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, playing at Sawmill Theaters. Of course, you can always go online, find out what's playing, when it's playing, by just going online to sawmilltheaters.com, or you can give them a call at 602-377-0719. That's all.
One last plug for yesterday. Yesterday is fabulous.
Yes, AbFab.
And it still is today, too.
Yep.
And thank you for tuning in and listening to Rim Country Forum. Been brought to you by Banner Payson Medical Center, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, At Your Service Cleaning and Tree Service, ITD Group, Computer Services, Anytime Fitness, and Hospitality Wireless.